Hey, what's going on? This is John with Flash Climbing. I'm here today to talk about how often you should be training whenever you're rock climbing. So if you're just a beginner, you're going to be training a lot less, and you're going to be training whenever you're advanced. And so we're going to go over what that life cycle looks like today. So if you're just getting started out, I bet you're pretty psyched on it. You're probably wanting to climb as much as possible. You're probably reading blog articles, watching YouTube videos, and just trying to figure out how you can get better as quickly as possible. I commend you for that. I think that's awesome, but you got to slow your roll, okay? Because if you keep doing this, you're going to get hurt and you're not going to be able to climb with your friends whenever they're jumping on really cool projects. You're going to be laid up in bed just trying to get better so you can get back on the rock again. So here are my suggestions for if you are a beginner. I think that you should be climbing probably 2 to 3 times a week, maybe 4 if you're feeling pretty strong and you're not hurting too badly. But if you feel it the next morning, whenever you wake up after a longer climbing session, your tendons are hurting in your hands, your forearms are still pumped, you're gonna want to rest that day. You don't want to push it. You're not gonna climb that good either. So you're gonna have very little return on that climbing session you're getting out there. Like, it might be kind of fun for a minute or two, but you're gonna notice you're falling off of climbs that maybe the day before you were doing really well. And it's just not going to be a fun experience. And so what I suggest is spreading out, let's take this for example. Let's do Monday, you have a training session, you go climbing with your friends, it's awesome, you climb your heart out. But Tuesday you wake up, you're feeling like, your hands are hurting a little bit, your muscles are still sore. This is whenever you want to take a break. So Tuesday you're going to take a break. Wednesday you wake up, you feel really good, you feel refreshed, feel a bit stronger. So I say go back Wednesday, get a climb in. Or you can wait till Thursday, and then after that you're gonna wait, Friday, maybe Friday, Saturday, you take a break, Sunday you get back out, climb again. You can mix your days up a bit, but I'd say definitely try and get about 3 or 4 rest days in a week whenever you're first getting started, because you want your body to be getting those muscles built back up after you break them down. And also, don't worry anything about training on hangboards or on campus boards or anything like that when you're first getting started. That stuff is in the far future for you, so don't even think about it for the first year or so. What you want to do is you want to get your technique down, because that's going to help you climb way better. So don't worry about really trying to strengthen your muscles. You're going to do that naturally by just getting on the wall and climbing. And so don't worry about that stuff. That's in the future. But once you get to your after year 1 to 2, 3, and you're maybe becoming more like an intermediate style climber, and you're climbing 510s higher, or V3, V4 higher, then that's whenever you want to maybe start ramping things up a little bit. So you probably built up the strength in your muscles that you need, your tendons are getting stronger, you're able to climb longer and not get shut down on climbs that were shutting you down before. So now I suggest that now you're going to be bringing it up to about 3 to 5 times a day, because if you want to get up to this next level to climbing 512 to V6, V7, V8, and really kind of hitting it, if you're wanting to start climbing outside a lot more, then I definitely suggest you start ramping your training up a little bit, but still make sure you're getting really good rest days in there. You don't want to climb 7 days a week at this point, because you're going to lead yourself to an injury then. I've seen it happen to a lot of friends, and just not letting your body rest when it needs to rest is going to be a recipe for disaster. So what I suggest is in this intermediate phase, you are climbing, like I said, 3 to 5 times a week. You can do some couple back-to-back climbing days, as long as you're not really projecting on your hardest climbs back to back to back. as long as you kind of like maybe have a mellower climbing day on a Monday, Tuesday, you're going out to hit your big project climb outside. It's at the top of your level, you know, you're gonna be like hanging a lot and like pulling on some hard moves that are really going to be testing your limits of your muscles and your tendons. Right there is whenever you definitely want to make sure you're not doing too many of those days in a row. Also, if you haven't been doing it yet, it's probably good to start doing a little bit of supplementation. What I suggest is protein, creatine. You can do some collagen. Nothing too crazy though, you know, some fish oil maybe. You don't need to get too crazy with this stuff. Just go with the basics and keep your muscles filled with protein, and the creatine will kind of keep your muscles kind of ready to go for whenever you have those hard climbing sessions as well. And right now this is kind of where I am. So I've been climbing quite a while, but I had some breaks in there where I wasn't climbing very often at all. You know, I was climbing maybe once every 1 or 2 weeks, and just life kind of got in the way. And you know, I'd gotten to a pretty comfortable spot up to climbing 510s and like higher 510s, but I never really made it to that 511, 512 spot. And so that's what I'm doing this year. This year is the year where I really prioritize training, and I'm climbing a lot, and I'm gonna shoot for getting up into that 512 range very shortly. Yesterday I was on a 510D. It felt like a 511 or so, and working on leading those. And it's getting easier and easier the more that I train and start doing this supplementation stuff. But in general, that's my goal this year, is to really kind of train hard and make this something that I really want to do in my life. And then so next up, I've done a lot of studying with advanced pro climbers, and these guys and girls are climbing 6, maybe 7 days a week on this. And so if you're above the level that I'm at right now, and you're climbing really hard, then yeah, you built up those tendons, those muscles, and you're feeling strong, and so you can actually ramp up your training as long as you're getting rest days in. So one thing that I've been told, and I'm definitely taking to heart, is if you're climbing hard for a long time, you're doing a lot of training, and you're really pushing yourself, you're going to want to take a week or 2 weeks off every few months to like every half a year or so, just to completely let your body regenerate. And so at that time, you're not going to get on the wall at all. You might be able to do some jogging or hiking and fun stuff like that, but you don't want to be going and pushing yourself. You want to let your body just have a big break to regenerate right there. And so that's next step for me. So probably in the next few months, after kind of a few months of really hard training, which I'm planning on doing and covering on the channel, I'm probably going to take a couple weeks off where I don't climb at all. And hopefully that is before the spring, when the weather gets super duper nice out here in Austin. It's actually been a really mellow winter so far. Feels like spring, and so I've been climbing a lot outside as much as I can. But I'm going to try and take a break before that spring season hits, so that whenever I come back, I'll come back strong and really start pushing the limits of my climbing. So thanks for checking this out today. Hopefully it's super helpful for you to kind of see where people are training and like how often you should be training if you were kind of wondering about this stuff. I'd love to hear, drop in the comments below, like how often are you training right now, and what are your climbing goals for this next year. I'd love to hear it. And also, if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more of it, like and subscribe below. And you'll see a lot more content like this. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing, to continue raising the limits of my climbing, and show you some tips and tricks on what I'm learning on how it's working out. And thanks for checking this out, and I will see you in the next video. All right, later on.